boogity, boogity, get up on your feet.
So, Daytona's over with, a little Monday night action, and we had a great rating. Thanks to all you folks, fans, and everybody. I did a little book signing over at the Books A Million and sold a bunch of books. I hope you'll buy this. Sundays will never be the same. This past Sunday will certainly never be the same. But I hope you'll buy this. Great books, fun to read, and it's a good way to pass off a little time. You know, like if there's a rain delay, or like if you are waiting for the race and you got to kill some time. I get Sundays will never be the same. I think you'll enjoy it. Matter of fact, I'm going to take this on my trip to Phoenix. I thought it'd last me. I should be able to read it by the time I get to Phoenix. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the DW Show post-race Daytona. And you know what? Things were so wild and so crazy at Daytona, I decided I'm going to start wearing a helmet in the booth. When you see things like we saw at Daytona, I think it's about time even us announcers start protecting ourselves, because you just never know what's going to happen, particularly when we take a look back at Daytona. So, well, hang on a minute. You may not be able to hear me all that great. Hang on. Anyway, have you ever, I love that, have you ever? No, I've never. Have you ever seen anything like we saw at Daytona the last 10 days? I mean, just rewind. Go back to the Bud Shootout. Was that not the craziest race you ever saw with Kyle Busch? I mean, Kyle Busch wrecked twice. Now, please, come on, folks. I'm just telling you, I talk about what I see, okay? I like Kyle Busch. He's a good guy. He's a great driver. He puts on a show. What am I there for? To tell you about the guys that are putting on the show. So, I'm not in love with Kyle Busch, okay? I'm just not that kind of guy. I hope you understand that. But I will tell you this. I've seen guys that could save a car like he did once and get away with it. And I say, well, I was pretty lucky. But when you see a guy do it twice, I got to say that's pretty good. And you know what else is icing on the cake? He won the dadgum race. That is extraordinary. So give the guy, I don't, you know, he may not be your favorite guy off the track, but you got to give him credit for on the track. So we go into qualifying, and first thing we saw from qualifying, those Fords were going to be bad fast. They won the front row, and we saw in practice, and we sort of could feel it coming that they had done their homework with the EFI, the new fuel injection, the aero package that they had. It all seemed to play right into the hands of the guys with the Fords. That cooling thing that they've been working on, trying to kind of regulate, again, played right into the hands of the Fords. Remember the FR9 engine, one of the big new characteristics of that engine was it could run, it ran cooler. By the way they designed everything in the engine just automatically ran cooler. So when they started trying to limit the amount of air you could get into the radiator to make the cars run hot, who had the advantage? The Ford guys. And the Chevy, Dodge, and Toyota guys, they've been trying to catch up with Ford and figure out how they could, you know, keep their cars running as cool. And they made a lot of gains, but I still think that was one of the big advantages to the Ford. So qualifying's over with, and we said, wow, those Roush Fenway Fords with that Roush H power on the hood, I think they may have something going for the 500. And it proved to be true. In the qualifying races, Kenseth won his. Now Smoke, you know, our defending champion, and the guy that I picked to win the 500, he won his qualifying race. So the qualifying races are over with. Things are looking pretty good. A guy that I said all along was laying in the weeds was Dale Jr. I could just see that car. It handled good. Every practice we'd go out, I'd watch Jr. He was right where he wanted to be. He was timing moves. He was playing that Earnhardt game, you know, don't show him what you got. Cover it up early and don't think everybody, so it'll psych everybody out. That's what was going on. And I will say this, funniest thing I read, when I said he was laying in the weeds, I said that during the telecast. I thought it was brilliant myself. A guy tweeted me and he said, looks like Junior's about ready to fire up the weed eater. That was pretty good, wasn't it? Anyway, so we get into let's don't skip to the 500 yet. Let's look at the truck race. John King, this kid never even raced at Daytona. He wins a truck race. Next day, nationwide race. James Buescher, he never even won a race. He wins the nationwide race. So me, in my brilliance, I said, you know, this place is turning into places for first-time wins. Think back to last year, Trevor Bain, first time win. Think back to the July race, David Reagan, first time win. It just seemed like Daytona has become such a crapshoot that the guys that are willing to gamble it all, just take whatever chance you got to take. It's all or nothing. I'm either going to win or I'm going to go home, and nobody will really care because I never won before anyway. So that's kind of what I saw shaping up for Sunday. But the 500-mile Daytona 500, it's a grueling, tough race. And it's not a 150-mile qualifying race. It's not a short bud shootout race. It's not a 300-mile Saturday race. This is 500 miles. And it takes a lot of patience. It takes great strategy. And a driver has to sit on a hot stove and pee ice water, okay? That's what it takes. You got to sit there in that draft, and you got to be patient. And you got to be willing to ride along sometime and follow somebody that you really know you're faster and you'd like to pass them, but it really doesn't make any sense. So you got to sit there and be patient and time everything and wait and let your crew do the job and get you in a position to win. And then when it's over with, you're looking up there and you might see the checkered flag. And that's exactly what Kenseth did Sunday. Oh, it wasn't Sunday, was it? It was Monday night. That's a whole nother story. But anyway, Kenseth, remember when he came into pits, Old Faithful, he had the water shooting out the overflow, and we said, whoa, that's not a good sign. It was a good sign because Old Faithful came through at the end. They had something hung up in the cooling system, had trash in there, got air in there, and they flushed it, got him back out. Didn't panic, sat on that hot stove, paid off. But what about the race itself? Oh my gosh, they dropped the green flag. These guys have been sitting around for 36 hours. And I know for a fact, I talked to a bunch of them. Well, we're all going to take it easy we don't know the track's green. Yeah, we're going to take it easy, get some laps under our belt, see how things are going. You know how many laps they ran before they wrecked? 1.